Hey there, Backyard Shack again. Got some more videos of some of the other ATVs and three-wheelers and stuff we got here. This is well, was a 110, 1982. When I got it, it was just basically a frame. There was no motor. I had a 110 motor here, so I shoved it in it, got it running, ran like crap, so had to get another carb, put another carb on it, did all the maintenance, valves, and a couple of new things, and it runs good. It runs real good. And then I had no plastic. I had plastic off of this one, which is my son's, a 110 or 125, 84, and it was just broke. There was not much there, so I just kind of cut it so it looks a little better. But I really don't ride this. This is just more of a thing to look at and laugh at, but it does work. It has 25-inch. I believe they're Maxi. Yeah, Maxxis tires, 25, 8, 12, and they're 4-track rims, front rims that are inverted so they stick out further. And I just made an adapter so they would go from the full pattern to this. Um, but yeah, it works pretty good. It has a 200 big red front end on it. I got misleaded. It is a 200. Um, I had a lot of parts around here. I bought this three-wheeler that came with this rack and this front end, so I just basically took it off. And at first, it didn't have nothing on it. And I thought, just for shits and giggles, put this on it. The old winch. It actually works pretty good, but um, I don't ride this at all, or nobody really does. A couple people might have to get drinking, but we don't really do that, and it works. It's just more of a conversation piece, but it sits up quite a bit higher than the 125. Has ubers of ground clearance compared to the 125, because it has 25-inch tires all the way around. Now, where we do ride B&D ATV, out here in Ontario, it's by Six Nations Reserve on First Line. If some of you have already been there or are in Ontario, we have taken this one across some of the water holes there just for shits and giggles, and with those narrow tires, it actually works pretty good. But it's more of just like I said, a conversation piece. Now the 125, it's got 90 plastic on it. Yeah, because when I got it, it was pretty rough. Like there was nothing there. I had to find some pieces here and there, and they're getting really hard to find up here. So my son had this little China offshore thing over there, which is my daughter's now, and I had a Can-Am 800, which I got rid of. Liked it, great power, just the parts and everything are pretty expensive, so I'm more of a Honda guy. I don't like to bore the shit out of my stuff in deep, deep water holes, but when I did it, the Can-Am was fun for that. But I put new tires on it, all 3 brand new tires. Put a new battery in it. Had to do a rebuild on the top end of the carb, bore it out, put a bicycle piston in it. Forged pistons are just so much better, but you can get away with cast too. But yeah, these tires work really good for them. They're the old Kenda Nomas, which are very hard to find now. They work really good. They clean out kind of well, but they work pretty good for what they are. Um, but yeah, it needs a couple more things. We just got this year for him. He likes it. He's learning how to shift, and he's only 5. But yeah, it's just more of a parts bike for this one, but I guess it turned out to be something else. But yeah, those are those two. Um, this is I bought this when I bought the 110 for parts. This is an 83 200E, kind of like the Big Red for 83, just didn't have reverse and it was chain drive. This was all green. I actually still got a bit of green I gotta get off of it. I took a little bit of acetone, and some of my buddies said they would wreck the plastic, but it actually came up pretty good. It didn't wreck anything. I just bought it because it was really cheap. I was just going to strip it down for parts or whatever, but there's a couple of things it needs. It's missing the cover for the recoil. This thing sat for 12 years, but it does run very well. The ignition was seized on it, throttle was seized. It sat in weed, so the plastic came with it. It's off of a 185S, I believe, and it works for now, but this is just something for my buddies to beat the crap out of. But it runs really good, doesn't smoke. It basically same thing, cleaned the carb out on this one, and it fired right up, which was pretty good for 12 years old, but you just can't kill these old Hondas. But yeah, I like it. Believe it or not, all the brakes still work on it, which amazed me. But this is an 84 200 Big Red high-low reverse shaft drive. This one came with the speedometer. Now, I bought this off of a farmer, and he said that he had this speedometer installed back in '85 when he bought it, and this is pretty much all he's had on it. Now, there's a couple things that he had some workers work for him, and they smashed the front end up. So they, at the time, all they could do was put a 200M front end on it, so that's why it looks so much wider than the 200E, which it should have that front end on that. And it has a crack on it's missing some right here on the front fender, which can't really do too much about, but if I can find one I will. I changed the bulb out on it. It's more of a white bulb. It's a little bit brighter than stock. It's actually got one of the old Blazer or Casey head fog lights on it. They fit right inside the pod. It works pretty good for what it is. I changed a couple of things. I changed the tail light out on it to an LED tail light. It just blinks. It's good three-wheeler. Got it fairly cheap, but it's pretty good. But that's pretty much all the three-wheelers. I had a lot more, but got rid of them. There's the 95 304 tracks. It's all snorkel jacked up, clutch kit, 18% gear reduction in it. 450 Foreman 2003. This one you can take it out of four-wheel drive, which is nice. It has 1-inch lift, 27-inch mud lights. It pushes snow all winter long. 54-inch Warren blade, quick attach. It works good. And then the little China piece of junk, 125. Picked this up for my son after he got out of it. He had a Honda 90 and it got stolen, so said screw it, got him this. But this is just my little shack. It's a little kind of a hobby I do. I got more, but that'll be another video. So that's just these ones. I got a few more. I got a good buddy of mine's Baja 400, one of those China 4x4s. He's done a bunch of stuff to it, and I got two older king quads like that one over there, a 250 quad runner for wheel drive, and a 300, a 97. I'm taking the motor out of the 250 and I'm putting in 300. There is a lot of differences with the two that I have seen on Suzuki forums that people do not mention, so I'm going to mention some of that. There is a lot of differences, like some of the brackets aren't the same, the universal joints are the same, it's just the yokes aren't for the dry shafts and everything, so it's just a lot of little things I'm going to bring up, but that'll be the next video. Alright, see you guys.